o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order, and we'll start with a roll call.
All right, Shelley Reed,
Here.
Alex Felto,
Here.
Francine Donchik,
Here.
Marilyn Kramer,
Here.
Kate Nelson,
Here.
Carl Nieberlein,
Here.
Harris Armstrong,
Here.
Carrie Rohrmeyer,
Here.
and Pat Phillips.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum.
Great. Next, we'll do the salute to the flag. Commissioner Velto, since you're not here in person, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Next, we have approval of the agenda, but I think we're going to pull item A, correct? That's the discussion and action to designate members of the RPC subcommittee.
Madam Chair, yes, and that's because we don't have final confirmation on two of our Reno RPC members that we're waiting on the City Council decision to confirm those members, and so we could bring it back once that's done.
Okay. Anything else that we need to pull? No? Okay, so I'm looking for, a motion.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Kramer, I recommend approving the agenda with the polling of item A.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Donchik, I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Next, we're going to open for our first public comment. Do we have any public comment?
We have none for this item, but we will for 6B.
Okay, I will close public comment and look for approval of the minutes.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Donchik, I move to approve the minutes.
Okay, a motion. Do you have a second?
Commissioner Nelson, will second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. So we'll start with item 6B. Jeremy?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. Jeremy Smith, for the record. Item 6B is a discussion of possible action to direct staff to coordinate and communicate with the State Public Charter School Authority, the Washington County School District, and local government planning staff regarding processes for approvals of charter and private schools. Let's go right into the presentation. A really long title there. Next, please. Okay, so projects of regional significance, I think we're all familiar with the concept, but just quickly, created in state law. The law provides some very strict criteria on what qualifies as a project of regional significance, and also vests power with the Regional Planning Commission to add additional guidelines if they have a significant effect on public facilities, public services, natural resources, or the regional form and pattern of the region. And if you want to read more about that, it's in NRS 278.026. Next slide, please. So as you know, during the August meeting, this body approved an update to the resolution, the RPC resolution that defines the guidelines for project of regional significance. It was not really what we would consider a substantive update. It was a cleanup update, and it did things like we had previous version had the numbering of sections was duplicated and incorrect, so we fixed that. There was in I call the whereas section, the part up front that talks about all the different versions of the resolution, there were a few missing, so we added those in. We recognized that things changed, so the health district is now called Northern Nevada Public Health, and so we changed that in the resolution. There were some outdated references to Section 404 wetlands and some biological hazardous waste. So we fixed that stuff up, and we also added language to reflect the language in state law with regard to those powers that are vested with the RPC, specifically in terms of archaeological, cultural, historical, and scenic resources being potentially PRSs, along with paleontological resources, which was actually already in there. So you already know that because you saw it last time, and that is the current version of the resolution. And in fact, the next item, you will see that we're asking you to sponsor for a regional plan amendment, which is our annual housekeeping amendment. We want to replace Appendix 2 with the new adopted version in the regional plan. So the one that you guys adopted in August. Next one, please. Okay, so there's been some conversation in terms of considering certain types of schools as projects of regional significance. And so just a little bit of background, the Washoe County School District is an affected entity of regional planning, and they produce a facilities plan which indicates the planned locations of future schools. And so anytime there's a change to the regional plan, or if there's an amendment to that facilities plan, that facilities plan will need to come before this body for a conformance review with the regional plan. And so in so doing, basically all planned Washoe County School District schools that are included in that facilities plan are vetted and reviewed through the regional process. There is no regional process currently to look at schools that are not in the Washoe County School District facilities plan. And those would include things like private schools and charter schools, or maybe even a Washoe County School District school that they want to build in a hurry that they didn't put into their facilities plan for whatever reason. So in that case, we've, like I say, been having conversations with our PRS review subcommittee of this body, the RPGB, PRS review subcommittee, the RPGB itself, this entire body, stakeholders, anyone that wants to talk about it, really. We've been having conversations about, the appropriateness or using the project of regional significance mechanism to address schools that aren't in the Washoe County School District facilities plan. And we had previously talked about setting a threshold as a guideline for when those would be triggered. So that's kind of where we were, but next slide, please. We have landed here, and we believe that really we need more research around these processes to understand what the correct role of regional planning in this system ought to be. And, obviously we are in service of being accurate and ensuring that if we do propose and vote on any sort of new guideline, that it very clearly indicates how whatever that school land use would be has a significant effect on regional forum or public facilities or services, as we mentioned. So basically want to be able to, really be able to show that and get that right before we propose anything in terms of putting in a new guideline to the resolution. And so in discussions, we were thinking that a good step would be to, number one, redesignate the PRS review subcommittee, which we'll do now in October, hopefully. But then also start coordinating and communicating with the Nevada State Public Charter School Authority, which oversees the authorization of charter schools in Nevada. There's also another process that schools can be sponsored and approved through the Washoe County School District to be a charter school. And third, there are private schools that go through the administrative review process or the approval process at the local jurisdiction. And so what we want to do is take a step back, engage with all of these groups, document very well how these processes occur. Take a look at, for example, there are many meetings that the NSPCSA will hold for any given sort of proposed charter school. And I think we want to understand to what degree the land use questions that we ask are being addressed through that public process, and also I think try to uncover opportunities for coordination and for how we can sort of loop in this set of schools that aren't in the Washoe County School District facilities plan. How do we get that into our general greater planning for infrastructure in the region, our public infrastructure plan, all of those activities that we do. So to add on top of this, obviously many of you are new to the commission. We were just about to a fully seated commission, which hopefully we'll have after this the city council meeting at Reno. And so, we've had a lot of discussion about this, honestly, for years, but a lot of you are very new. And so just kind of thrusting this out there on you is a bit of an ask without, really well-documented information that we're going to try and gather. And then further, we are up against the regional plan update, which is now almost about 1 year away. And in order to achieve the exact 5-year time frame that I've been promising we will hit, we've got to get some things done. So we need to finish up our natural resources planning effort and vet the associated policies that we want to bring forward into the plan. With that, that's going to be still an effort. We're working and making great progress on public infrastructure planning. We've been having a lot of meetings. I mean, we're getting the data and it's coming together nicely, but there's still a lot of work to do. And we just generally need to go through, there's a few work items for the update, looking at DCA, looking at measuring growth that's happened since the update, comparing it to the scenarios. We've got a big modeling project coming up where we're going to be helping with the regional transportation plan. So there's just many things that we have to be doing. There's only 5 of us, right? And so we think it's a good idea to, in addition to getting the better information, just for our sanity, slow it down a bit and focus on those things that we absolutely have to get done in that time frame. So those are the main reasons why we're suggesting this. One more slide I have, just to kind of give you a breakdown. I could have put this in earlier. This is the breakdown as we understand right now. I think we'll have even better concept when we go through some of this research work, but those are the 4 categories of schools, in our big list of schools in the region. Total of 97 at the district. They're actually Washoe County School District schools. 10 Washoe County School District sponsored charter schools. 7 charter schools that are authorized by the state agency there, authority, and then about 21 private schools. So that's the breakdown, and I think you can see that it's over a quarter of the total facilities are actually outside that Washoe County School District facility plan aspect. So we just want to dig in and make sure we have the right information and can give you guys the foundation for making a decision. Next slide, please. So I have a suggested motion coming, and also happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a quick question. Are we going to, in the motion, designate a time frame for this, since we have so many other activities going on, or just sometime in the future?
Yeah, we kind of style it as a future date. If you wanted to do a time frame, you sure could. But
I don't think we want to put a time frame on it.
okay, good call. I don't think you have to.
Okay, perfect. Any questions for staff? Okay. I don't have this as a public hearing item, but I thought you said that you had comment on this.
Yeah, we have one from Eddie Ablisser.
Okay, let's go ahead and then open it up for public comment.
Two.
There we go.
Am I good?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, my name is Eddie Ablisser. I work with Tri-Strategies, a local firm, and we represent 3 state public charter schools, authorized schools here in your region, Doral Academy of Northern Nevada, Matter Academy of Northern Nevada, and Pinecrest Academy of Northern Nevada, all 4- and 5-star schools that are serving a large population of students that are helping the community. I want to start off by thanking the chair, staff, and council for all their hard work. They have been extremely generous in coordination and communication with groups like mine to explain this item, to talk about next steps, and hear some of our concerns, which I'm truly grateful for. I'm here today to support the direction that you are taking. If I had to change anything, I would add the word public in front of the word charter, because oftentimes people confuse. All charter schools here are public schools. They are part of the public education school district. I have 2 items that I just wanted to raise to your attention as you move forward and designate your subcommittee to review more information. One, part of our group has been analyzing NRS 278.026, specifically 5C. We do think that perhaps the subcommittee can dig in and look about the language, and is it truly designating that the significant effect on schools means that what schools might bring to the region or a regional form, or is it that you're charged with looking at what the effect actually does have on the school versus the other way around? And so I think maybe as part of the subcommittee action, we can review that. Specifically to the concerns of our schools, we don't have a problem with going through the appropriate measures and motions. Our concerns are usually timing and effort. At the State Public Charter School Authority, we generally go almost through a 2-year lengthy process of multiple public comments, multiple improvement periods at the localities getting approvals. And so oftentimes with that, we in our schools have to go through a very lengthy process to take a look at traffic, for example. And one of the recommendations that we've brought up is perhaps the subcommittee can contemplate when reviewing traffic and that enrollment trigger, what are things when a school has like staggered release time where they break up at 2 different times and bring in students at 2 different times. Queuing systems that generally help with the traffic flow on the streets. And then all the schools that I represent have what are called traffic loops that go all the way around the school. If you haven't seen them, they're phenomenal. They take all the traffic off the arterial roads and onto the property, and it really helps with the traffic calming. I know a lot of schools don't do that, but I just wanted to offer that as some of the guiding principles maybe for the subcommittee to review. Again, thank you all for your time and for the hard work that you've brought to this item. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
We've received none.
All right, let's go ahead and close public comment and bring it back to the commission. Any other further questions? Okay, I'm looking for a motion.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Donchik, I move to direct staff to undertake the proposed research regarding processes for approval of charter and private schools, including potential impacts to regional form and/or facilities, and to report results to the RPC PRS Review Subcommittee as described in the staff report.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do you have a second?
Commissioner Armstrong, I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Any discussion?
Madam Chair?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Who was,
don't know.
It was Commissioner Belto.
Go ahead.
go ahead, Commissioner Bell.
this is Commissioner Belto. I'm going to recuse myself from discussion or voting on this item. I know that I'm on the board for a charter school, which creates a fiduciary relationship to that charter school, and I know my firm is involved in some capacity, or an attorney in my firm is involved in some capacity interacting with Team RPA on a charter school issue. I'm not fully aware of what that issue is, but I will be recusing on this item.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Bell. Commissioner Kramer.
I would just like to say thank you for slowing the roll here for us, knowing that most of us are new and have not a clue what this item is about. And I appreciate the fact that you are willing to slow that down so that we have a better understanding of how it works within the frame of regional planning. So I appreciate that very much.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, we have a motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Let's move on to item 6C. Jeremy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a public hearing item, and it is correctly noted. Regional Plan Amendment, Annual Review and Update of the Regional Plan, Sponsorship and Possible Adoption of RPC Resolution 23-07. Chris Tolley will take us through the housekeeping updates.
Good evening, Commissioners. Chris Tolley, Team RPA. As Jeremy mentioned, this is a regional plan amendment inclusive of both the sponsorship of said amendment and the amendment himself. And this is regarding the annual update to the regional plan and RPA, case number RPA 23-004. As I think most of you know, the existing regional plan was adopted on October 10th of 2019. And then staff, since that point in time, has on an annual basis tracked updates or corrections, clarifications to the regional plan, and then brought those forward at this time frame. This would be basically the same year time frame as we held the meetings at the RPC level for the actual adoption of the regional plan. And this go around includes minor policy and mapping corrections, clarifications, and updates. And staff does recommend that the proposed amendments support the goals and policies of the 2019 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan. And then there is a state backing to this, as the NRS, Nevada Revised Statutes, requires that the RPC take a look at the regional plan on an annual basis. And again, the amendment includes minor policy, mapping corrections, clarifications, and updates. And the list, the first three, number 1, 2, and 3, are in that correction and clarification realm. Numbers 4 and 5 are mapping amendments, and that is, again, a correction and then a clarification or update. Correction and an update. And then finally, what previous item Jeremy introduced was the replacement or update of Appendix 2, the PRS guidelines, to, if you're following along with our RPC resolution numbers, to put in there 23-02, and that replaces 13-06. And then review criteria for each of the regional plan amendments we bring forth as identified in Policy RC10. Criteria is listed on this slide. And for each of these 7 criteria, staff found that there are no impacts to said criteria. So that brings us to the proposed motion, which is listed on the screen. We're on page 12 of the meeting packet. This does conclude my presentation. However, staff's available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Does any of the commissioners have questions for staff? No questions. Go ahead and open it for public comment. This is a public hearing. Do we have any public comment?
We've received none for this item.
All right, let's close public comment, bring it back to the commission. Any discussion? I will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Kramer, I move to sponsor the amendment request and adopt RPC Resolution 23-07 regarding minor policy and mapping amendments to the 2019 Truckee Meadows Regional Plan based on findings listed in the staff report.
Thank you. For a second.
Commissioner Donchik, I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Aye.
passes. Thank you.
He's getting up there somewhere.
Commissioner Belto. Sorry, I don't mean to be, trying not to ignore you. I know you're up there in the little tiny little box. All right, moving on to item 7, reports. Start with director's reports.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jeremy Smith for the record. A very brief report. First off, happy to announce again and encourage everyone to attend, even though it'll probably be raining, the One Region event at Rancho San Rafael this Saturday from 11 to 3 in the Peavine Picnic Pavilion. We've got, if you want to know exactly where to park or need a map or anything, let us know. But just there at Rancho, pretty easy to find. We're going to have booths with people from the tribes and who else is coming? School district, heard about them, Kyle. But just about, I think, 10 booths. We're going to have some games, we're going to have displays, and we're going to be talking about regional planning. So we're going to have live music too. A little bluegrass band is going to be there. So that's pretty fun. So hopefully you can come out and check that out. And then the second announcement is the Nevada APA conference is being held up at Lake Tahoe this year on October 16th, the Monday. We're doing 2 items at the conference. In the morning, Chris and I are going to present on the public infrastructure plan. And in the afternoon, I'm sitting on a panel with folks from Southern Nevada Regional Planning and Tahoe Regional Planning Agency to talk about natural resources. So if you're planning to go to the APA conference, Monday's a big day for our agency. We'll be doing a couple things and hope to see you there. That's it. Thank you.
Sounds like fun tomorrow. I won't be there.
That's okay.
Get be in Disney.
That's even better.
Yeah. Any member reports? Okay, we'll move on. Yeah, legal counsel report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jessica Prenti for the record. Nothing to report tonight.
Thank you. Move on to item 8, requests for future agenda items. Any requests? All right. Hearing none, we'll move on to item 9, our final public comment. Do we have any public comment?
We have none.
Okay, we'll close public comment. Any written correspondence?
Nope, we have none.
All right, well, then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.